Hey everybody, you join me on a very pleasant day actually. It might look a bit dark over there and it might rain, but it's very calm, very still. It's not very busy on the island because it's midweek. And I'm out on the Reno Machino, just basically blowing off the cobwebs because Reno's going to get back on very soon. She's just been so busy with her work because, I mean, obviously I can't talk about all this, but basically she had a lot of changes come up which meant putting weeks and weeks into new things, basically. Not a new job, just things changed. And it's just meant that she's been incredibly busy for a long time, and where she works from home, or I've been incredibly busy reviewing bikes and stuff. I mean, seriously, I'll get onto that in a minute. When it gets to weekends, we're just like, I just don't want to do anything. I want to sleep. But things are calming down now, so yeah, we can get back out there. Anyway, yeah, so I had the Syneses, obviously, the two Syneses, the SMR and the SMXE, and in the 2 weeks I had those bikes, I produced an absolute shed ton of content. The thing is, normally I like to have 2 weeks with a bike, but what I got was 2 weeks with two bikes, which was fine. You know, it's absolutely fine by me. It's a good way of doing it, especially when the bike is so similar to each other like that. But to produce all that content in that amount of time, which includes the editing part, because obviously I need to make sure all that content's good, like the recording's good, there's no corrupted files. So I need to make sure the videos are good before the bikes go back. It absolutely knackered me, especially as it was through that heat wave. So I actually did take a few days off after I got all that done. I'm just sort of picking things back up again now. I have a couple of plans coming up. I'm going to go and do some one-day reviews from a couple of companies, hopefully, locally. And also, a question to you, if you would like to see me review any more of the Syneses current range, which one would you want me to review? Because I've basically been given the option to get another bike from them, and I'm just not sure which one I would go for. Now, I'll just say here, not the Akuma. Yeah, the Akuma, I know loads of people are going to say it because it's the little mini 125 Grom equivalent, basically. Look, the joke will be funny for 5 minutes. And then it'll be 2 weeks of what can I really say about this bike, because I'm just way too big for it. It's not a fair assessment of the machine. I'm not saying I'm not going to do a video on it. I actually very much would like to do a video on one of them, but I'd rather do that as a one-day thing. So maybe I'll pop up to Brighton and borrow one for a few hours so I can give you that video, but without me having to suffer for like 2 weeks. So from the other models, which ones would you like to see me on? I have a feeling the Terrain, is it called the Terrain? Basically the Adventure 125. I feel like that's something a lot of you'd want to see, but let me know. As I say, creating all that content in that amount of time absolutely knackers me. And, you know, I'm not as young as I used to be, as it were. But I do recognise as well now that after you do something like that, you know, you put that much work in. This is sort of something when you're self-employed. When you get a job that you got to do, you'll put, you know, 16 hours a day into it for weeks, months, whatever's required. I mean, technically, I haven't stopped really, other than those few days recently, since the Zero FXE, which was months ago. But yeah, it's really important to take a few days and just to relax and not really do much. And if you're a bit of a workaholic like I am, your brain tells you you've got to be doing something. You can't relax, you've got to do stuff. But I've learned to recognise that by taking a few days to recover, when you do go back to it, not only have you had time to think, because obviously during these days I'll be thinking about, you know, the next videos and what I can do in the future and stuff like that, it just prepares you better for the next content you make, and you'll end up making better content. It does, however, mean that I confuse people, because like I put a video up that was during the heat wave, filmed during the heat wave yesterday, so it's been a long while. In fact, it's been a long while, if you're on YouTube, since this was filmed, since you've seen it, if you know what I mean, because it goes to Patreon first. That's my point. People were like, it's like when they see comments on it from 9 days ago, and they're like, how has this only been uploaded 5 minutes ago, and yet now it's got comments from 9 days ago? That is because my patrons get videos early. Normally it's 3 days early, but just recently, with the amount of content I'm producing, it's actually up to like 10 days. Oh, I mentioned in a recent video I'd like to get my hands on a Horwins, is it CR6, C6R, I'm trying to remember it now, and the Pro version of that. Reason being, it has, it's a 125cc equivalent electric, but it's got a manual gearbox on it. I know, weird. Well, the place I thought would have one doesn't have one, and also you can't do test rides. Do any of you know of any places in the UK that have actually got stock of the Pro version with that manual box? If you do, let me know. I'd be interested to know, because as I say, I had a bit of a scan around online and it seems like the Pro's just not anywhere to be seen, which doesn't surprise me because, as I say, it's an electric with a gearbox. I've just thought, if I'm asking questions, I can ask this one at the same time. One of the things I want to go and do one day reviews with, because that's generally the only way I can get them, is BMWs. I'm going to go back to Barnstormer. I did the R18 quite a while ago now, because I got into doing loads of other stuff, but I want to go back and do a few more. What BMWs would you like to see me do? Now, I want to do the electric scooter, but I don't know if they've got one of those in stock. The thing is, I have ridden quite a few BMWs in the past, but nothing that new, so it's other than the R18. When I say reviews, I might just call them first rides, because that's all they are. I'm only going to have it for a few hours. I assume Barnstorm was still cool with me buying bikes, haven't actually asked them. Ah, fly in the eye. How? Oh, it's gooey. Oh, ow, it's stinging. Ow. Oh no, it's really, ow, that's bad. Ow, ow. Ah, I feel like it was biting my eyeball. I got it out. If you're thinking there is more flies around this year than previous years, you would be absolutely correct. As you know, very interested in wildlife, studied it for a very, very long time, run a moth trap quite regularly. I have been running it, but I've not made videos because generally people just don't care. And I know 5 or 6 of you say, I'd love to watch them. Yeah, there's only 5 or 6 of you. I'd rather put that time into making a video that, you know, a couple of thousand will watch. I know the wildlife content has got a massive audience potential, but YouTube just doesn't serve my stuff. Barely serves the motorbike stuff, let alone it's not getting to the algorithm and YouTube being the way it is. It gets right on my nerves. However, yeah, I can confirm, because I run a moth trap, there is a lot more flies around this year than I've seen in many previous years. Flies do turn up to moth traps, and as I say, just billions of them. It's just been really good weather for them, and they've had a bumper year. And I'll tell you now, if you don't like wasps, look forward to the autumn, because I bet you're going to see millions of the buggers. Because local fruit trees, I've noticed, are absolutely jammed with fruit. So when that starts to fall off and rot, and from then, it's the wasps up, and yeah, enjoy it. As I say, it's great for the birds and everything, the wildlife, because it's food for them. It's very important. Got to put my feet down. So as I say, for me, it's been quite a few days since I made a video, so this is more a sort of a hey. Although for you, you're like, what? What do you mean, hey? You haven't gone anywhere. You're still uploading like a video every other day. I'm like, yeah, and I've still got more to upload before you even see this one live. Hopefully, in the next couple of days, the sun will come back out, and I'm going to get my butt over to a couple of different places, get chatting with people again, just to get their relationships reignited, and then start borrowing some bikes. Hopefully I can borrow some on day one. I do love doing the in-depth reviews, but I have to say at times I actually genuinely do now sometimes miss doing the short ones. I know I can't get the same amount of information in, but the first rides, it's most of what you want to know. Right, well, this was just one of those little updatey videos. I'll ask you a couple of questions before we get going again. So once I get in full steam mode, getting through making content editing, just non-stop, weeks disappear. So it's like at times I feel like I haven't properly connected and talked freely with you guys. And that's what this is all about. But anyway, if you enjoyed the video, please do hit that like button. Subscribe. No, I don't ask that anymore. You don't have to, but you can if you want to. But what I would like you to do is help support me through Patreon, because it's what makes this channel possible. Yes, they're building a new skate park, a much cooler one. It's a shame they're doing it in the middle of summer, but then I guess for concrete work they need to do it in the dry, opposed to doing it in the winter. Yes, I know that some concrete's fine in the wet, but I think it's better to do it in the dry, isn't it? Or does it get too hot? Wait, now we're talking about the curing temperatures of concrete. That is when you know you need to make it end. Bye.